Okay, and welcome to the final demonstration for this first project here, where we'll be doing the configuration of a DNS server. So a DNS server is a server that helps us with name resolution in our network, translating URLs into numerical IP addresses that our computers use to locate and connect to internet services. So we can use the DNS services to resolve names into IP addresses by creating a forward lookup zone where we'll add host records, FQDN, and CNAME records. We'll also create a simple web page in this demonstration in our web server to access from our client computer. So for this exercise, we will be using 2 servers and 1 client. Now for this portion here, the DNS services is going to be kind of a combination of multiple parts, including resolving the names into the IP addresses, configuring the forward lookup zone, syncing our DNS and web server, updating the DNS server by adding the server records, and by default, we will have the SOA and NS records. So without further explanation here, let's go ahead and just get started. So I am in my server A here. We will go ahead and add roles and features. Next here, you got the role-based feature. We have our server 2016A, which we're selecting. I'm going to come down here and we are actually right in the middle here, the DNS server, which we are installing. We will add the features. Next here, I'm going to keep all of these default settings and we will install. So while that finishes, I will pause quickly. Now the installation has succeeded, we will go ahead and close here. So pretty simple install for the DNS server portion here. I'm just going to refresh my manager, but we can see again that the DNS server role has been added. So we do have now our first server ready for configuring our DNS services. But first I'm going to install my web server role. So I'm going to come over to my server 2016B. Here we'll go to add roles and features. Next, role-based installation of our server 2016B. And for this one, we will come down to the web server. The features, next, same thing. We're just keeping these default settings here and install. And I'll pause again once this is finished up here. That installation has succeeded. So when we do the web server role installation here, this will create a directory in your C drive by the name of inetpub. Inetpub is the location where the web server's repositories are built. So after the install here, I'll show you where the inetpub folder appears. Let me just close this real quick. Pull up my file folder here. As you can see, and this is the folder, inetpub folder. So you open this guy up here. We have the www root folder, which we will come back to here. So for this exercise, I will be building a tiny web page for us to visit. Let me just close this down. I'm going to open my notepad. We'll do just a very simple web page here. I'm going to start with my open header first. We'll go ahead with the nice big font. It'll be easy to see. Color, we'll go with yellow. And then we'll have body background color will be black. So that means here I will just write down project 1 is server install. Mm, Close header. Okay. We'll do just a second line here. Mhm. And from the second line, I'm going to go ahead and change the color from yellow to white. Go ahead and change the second line. This portion, I'll go ahead and have a little bit of fun with it, and we will say, how about reality is wrong, dreams are for real. Go ahead and change these hashes, symbols here. Okay, so that should be fine here. I'm going to go ahead and save this. We will be saving this in our local disk in our inetpub folder, back to that www root folder. File name, we'll set this as default.htm, and we will save. I'm going to close this down here now. Let me just refresh. And now I'm going to open up that file that we just created. Here we will open up this default, use Internet Explorer. And so we see here, our web page comes up and it is black. Just for the server, our web server here, it will bring it up as just black. And shortly here in a moment, we will use our client computer to visit this website and see the headers and the lines that we created. So this is good here. Close this down. And so yeah, we'll check out the web page with the client 10A machine, but first we need to add the preferred DNS to our web server 10.0.0.1. So let me up here. To 0.1 and we'll hit OK. Close. Here. It's going to refresh again. Refresh on this side. Make sure my machines are staying open here. So at this point, we have our DNS server, our website, and we are synced up and connected with our DNS and web server. So at this point, we're pretty much all set with the configurations on our web server. Now we're going to be on our DNS server. I'm just going to use a quick shortcut here. I'm going to bring up our DNS manager. Select our server 2016A here. So to resolve names into IP addresses, we will configure a forward lookup zone. So we will just right click new zone here, bring up our zone wizard, and we are making a primary zone. Since this is the first node zone that we're making here in this environment. Go ahead and hit next. Zone name, I'm going to go ahead and just go simple, type my name.com. Next, it's going to create that DNS file name. Next. So for this portion here, we will be going with the second option. Now, because we don't have an active directory, it's not going to give us the first option here. So we will go with option 2. This is for our specific situation where we are working with one DNS server plus our web server. And it allows us to sync the information between the servers based on our requirements here. So we'll go next and finish. And so now we can see in our forward lookup zone here at the tomas.com. And by default, it gives us the start of authority record and the name server record. So now we have to update our DNS server and then add the other server record. So on my DNS server here, I'm going to create a host record in which I will add my server name and the server's IP address. So we will just right click. We're going to do a new host. This name here will be server 2016A. The IP address 1.0.0.1. We're going to add our host. Successfully created. And we can see it updated here. Now we have that host record. Now we have to update our host record in our name server. So I'm going to double click my name server here. We're going to edit this. I'm going to resolve. Got the green check mark there. This will be server 2016.tomas.com. Go ahead and select OK. Apply. And so now we can see that updated here. Now we're going to add another server in our DNS server record. As per the architecture, DNS says whoever gives me the responsibility to resolve its name and IP address must update their host record in my database. So to resolve my web server record, we have to update it here in my DNS database. So, and we will right click new host. This one will be server 2016B IP address 1.0.0.2. And we will add host. Successfully created. So now we have our 2016A and 2016B all set to go here. Now we do need to make one more record here in our database, which is known as the CNAME for the www portion of the website. So on our DNS server here, I will right click and we will add a new alias CNAME. This is just going to simply be www. And then I'm going to browse our 2016B here. Okay, good. And so now we have all that added. So yeah, with the www there, this will direct the www lookup URL through our web server. So now that we have all this updated here, I am going to close this down and just refresh. Make sure everything is refreshed and ready to go here. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and switch to our client 10A machine to see if we can open the server website. So I will go to So, well, before we go to the website here, we do need to update our IP address preferred DNS. So let me quickly just go to run. Here, we're going to enter the preferred DNS of our server, which is the 10.0.0.1. Okay. And now let's go ahead and see if we can get these web pages to load. So I'm going to open up my Microsoft Edge. And we will go ahead and try all three of the records that we created on our DNS server or web server. Here. Marks the screen there. All right, so the first one we will try here is we're going to go ahead and try and open the web browser by typing the IP for our web browser to 10.0.0.2. And there it is. We have our simple web page here running. The Project One DNS and web server installed. First and second lines. Looks good. The next tab here, we will go ahead and look up with February 2016 b.tomos.com. We have success. We can see our web page. That's good. And then the last one we will do here, we will go ahead and try www.tomos.com. And there we go. So we have all three of them worked. So I would call that a success. So that will essentially stop the demonstration for the DNS server portion here. But yeah, this is essentially how we can configure a basic DNS web server in our network to help us translate URLs into numerical IP addresses that our client computers can use to locate and connect to internet services. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate the time.